Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new video for you all today. So today we have loot from 3,000 Elder Chaos Druids, and as you can see, this time we did it on the main account. Last video was done on the Iron Man, but since these things are such high level, they're also in the wilderness and they're in multi-combat, so I figured it would be better to do it on the main account this time. And as you can see, the rare drop table, all these items are 1 in 1,500, so we have the Chaos Hood, the top, and the bottom, and that's pretty much what these mages use, or what they wear, at least when they're attacking you. Their main attack is Wind Wave, of course, and as long as you're praying magic, then you won't take any damage. It really doesn't matter what your combat level is, and luckily, if you can't afford prayer potions, or if you're an Iron Man account or something like that, this is pretty much right next to the Chaos Altar. As you can see, I did bring prayer potions because I realized the first 10 minutes or so, maybe 15 minutes was all aggro, so it really was annoying to run back and forth from the altar, but after that aggro did run out, then they weren't as aggressive and you could really just run back and forth from the altar without getting teleported, you know, all over the place, as you'll see a few times in this video. And yeah, 23 kills into the video, we actually managed to get a hood, which is the most valuable of all the rares, and I was really surprised considering it's a 1 in 1,500 chance to get that, and it's also the most valuable, so that was very nice to see, especially so early on. And just a few trips after that one, to my surprise, I did receive another drop, which was the row bottom this time, which is the least expensive of the three. But yeah, it was really surprising again, you know, all in under like 70 kills is what my bone charger was at that point, or at least in 3 kills it would have been at 70, which was actually this kill right here, and that marked the third drop all in under 70 kills. So yeah, I'd say as it goes for this series so far, this was probably my luckiest moment. I mean, there's really rare occasions that I get 3 drops in that span of time, so yeah, I was really happy about that. It did give me motivation throughout the video, and I did need that because unfortunately I went on a pretty big dry streak after this happened, so it was nice to see though overall. And if you're curious what these robes do, they're pretty much tier 40 magic robes. They do look pretty stylish. From what I know, peers use them. I believe it's only 1 defense to wear them, and although these are Elder Chaos Druids, they are known to wear Zamorak robes most of the time, so think of them as like a more pimped out version and little requirements with decent bonuses. Yeah, I think that I've seen some peers PK with them in the past, especially on low level magic accounts. Does pretty well in the wilderness, so yeah, they are pretty nice robes. And if you're low prayer or you do have a soul bearer, then it is cool to bring that because they do drop ensouled Chaos Druid heads, which aren't that much prayer XP, but they are 1k each, so you know, that's something to keep in mind. The normal drop table is pretty average. I mean, they do drop a lot of herbs, so of course bring that herb sack if you have it. I of course did bring that, and I also did bring a gem bag, which didn't really help me too much, but I figure if I was going to stay for an extended amount of time, then it would be important to have both. Your kills per inventory really just depend on how many kills you want to do. I mean, you have unlimited prayer with an altar right there, but I was just bringing 1 range pot, and whenever my range pot would end up just running out and I'd be at a lower level, I'd end up teleporting. Then eventually I upgraded to 2, so my trips lasted twice as long. And yeah, overall, even though it was in the wilderness, I didn't really encounter any PKers, and I don't really think you guys will either. It's a really unpopular area. And as you can see there, just about 600 kills later, we did manage to get another drop, which was the robe top this time. And yeah, seeing 3 drops before 70 KC and then all 3 items before 700 KC was pretty nice. As you can see, the bank tab at this point was looking pretty nice. I mean, all the items adding up. Most of the herbs and most of the runes was what the tab was looking like. And of course, they have some uncommon drops like mithril bolts and steel longswords. And if I ever have inventory space towards the end, usually I'll focus on the longswords, but yeah, for the most part, they're not really worth that much. And this was a pretty uncommon drop. I did receive Rune Square Shield, which I don't think is on their drop table. It's just one of those rare drops along with like 42 rune arrows and things like that. Now, I will give you guys a little bit of a warning. This was not the only player that I did attack during the making of this video, and you guys will see what I mean in a little bit, so just putting that out there. You know, it's really rare that I can include PKing content with my content because mostly I just do loot videos these days, and yeah, unless it's pertaining to the wilderness like Lava Dragons was, and I think Venenatus was, then it's pretty impossible for me to ever get some PKing clips, so don't mind the one that you guys are about to see here in a little bit. And yeah, obviously, you know, in the course of killing all these mages, there's tons of level 3 clue scrolls, and all I can say for that is the drop rate of a hard clue is 1 in 128, but as most of you guys know, in the wilderness, if you are using a Ring of Wealth imbued, which you just have to buy an imbued scroll and just use it on the Ring of Wealth, then the drop rate then drops to 1 in 64. So I was receiving a lot of hard clue scrolls, and that was pretty much the incentive to, you know, bank or, you know, at least do something else other than just stay there and kill them. And I don't mind doing clues, and I figure that, you know, I will add up all the clue scroll rewards and put them in a separate price check, which I did towards the end of the video. And you guys can kind of be the judge, you know, is it worth doing the clue scrolls or rather just sticking to the mages themselves and the drops that they have. I did end up doing about 17 clue scrolls scrolls, which is on average about 1 every single hour, since it did take about 18 hours to do this video. And if you guys are curious how much range XP per hour I was getting using a blowpipe, I was getting about 90 to 95k range XP with Addy darts. And all in all, I did end up using 22,000 Zora scales as well as 11,000 Addy darts. So yeah, I'm sure for you guys who know the prices these days, you guys will know that that is quite a bit of money. But I did factor in the cost of supplies towards the price check towards the end, so you guys get the gist of it, just how much money it is to use a blowpipe here. And keep in mind, if you don't want to use a blowpipe or range, that's completely fine. You can always use melee here. I did actually see someone use the new wilderness mace that you can get at Revenants, so that is pretty good here. I myself didn't try out the mace or the crossbow, but I do recommend maybe looking into those because I feel like it'd be cheaper to use wilderness weapons versus a blowpipe with the cost of scales and darts being so high. So yeah, maybe using a crossbow or the best in slot mace would be smarter than a blowpipe. As it goes for these clue scroll rewards, they are pretty basic. I mean, level 3 clues, you really can't expect too much. I believe my best reward was 318k and my least expensive reward was 35k. So yeah, pretty average. Other than that, I did see quite a few 100k plus rewards, so no complaints in the category of clue scrolls. Alright, so remember that guy that I mentioned that I saw use a mace here? Well, yeah, there he is. And this was the part of the video that I mentioned earlier on, you know, the guy that I saw. So since I was killing these Chaos Druids, I figure I wanted to be alone and I wanted my privacy back, so I went ahead and I geared up in max strength and dragon claws, and yeah, he didn't manage to switch his prayer in time, and there you go, full melee void and a fire cape. I don't think he lost any of it. I mean, it was only at 13 wilderness, but we did manage to kill him. I was kind of hoping for a berserker ring or maybe something out of the ordinary, because like I said, people really don't end up killing anyone here, so didn't think he'd expect it. And yeah, we did manage to get 800k. I did apologize, but unfortunately he did not accept my apology, so he did accept a spot on my ignore list though. But anyway, that was a funny moment. Don't take it too seriously. If anything, take it as a piece of advice not to AFK, or at least just to pay a little bit of attention, you know, because anything like that can happen in the wild, and especially since there's a huge release of new worlds, you know, there's just so many places to hop around and check in the wilderness now, so just be on the lookout no matter what you're doing. And yeah, at this point I only had 200 kills left in the video, and I was on a pretty big dry streak, you know, other than getting that robe top about 700 kills in, I hadn't managed to see a drop for over 1,000 to I think 1,500 kills at that point, until in the very end when I just had under 200 kills to go, I did manage to get another robe bottom, which was definitely unexpected. I was happy to end the dry streak on a good note rather than ending the video on a massive dry streak, because that's no fun. Nobody really likes dry streaks that much. And at this point I had 100 kills left. I wanted to show the Bone Crusher clearly starting at 7,900. The initial goal was to get to 4,900, 3,000 kills. And looking back now, you know, at the kill speed I was doing this in, I think 1,000 kills would have been good enough, and maybe in the future I'll consider lowering that number. But the only reason I wanted to do 3,000 was because the drop rate of the rares was 1 in 1,500, and I certainly wanted to get at least one rare. Yeah, with that being said though, that was our last rare. We actually managed to get the hood with 28 kills to spare, so that was certainly nice to see. It was the most expensive piece of them all. Really nice way to end the video. My RNG works in mysterious ways, you know, really active in the beginning, completely absent in the middle, and very active in the end. Overall though, I would say it was a good experience. I did spend about 18 hours just killing these druids, and as it goes for the clue scrolls, I spent about 2 hours doing all of them. Mainly my time was spent doing the puzzle boxes since I don't use a third-party client, which maybe I should upgrade on because it would be really nice to save time on those puzzle boxes. But with all that being said, here we go. Let's go ahead and do the price check. So we have all the normal drops in one inventory and then all the rares in another inventory. So the first one coming out to be just about 4 mil on the dot. We have all the runes, all the herbs, the loop keys, the fishing bait, the bolts, a cash stack coming out to be about 257k. So, you know, wasn't really extremely worth it to wear the Ring of Wealth, but considering we were getting clue scrolls along the way, I would say that 257k was a nice bonus. And as it goes for the second inventory, we have all the rares and all the heads coming out to be just about, including the square shield half, 2.9 mil, and that is really nice to see. So if you do round up to about 3 mil and you add both of those numbers up, then you do get about 7 mil in normal drops and rares from 3,000 Elder Chaos Druids. And with the cost of supplies being about 5.7 mil, you get about 1.3 mil profit in all the drops total. And if you add in the 17 hard clue scrolls, which we made about 2.2 mil from, then you are left with 3.5 mil profit from 3,000 Elder Chaos Druids. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please subscribe.